Are we live? Okay.
Live and one.
Live and now.
Live and now.
But can they hear us?
No one knows.
Oh, wow. DNA Solutions. Liked it. That's cool.
Huh.
That's cool, then.
DNA Solutions. Get your paternity test there.
Find who your dad is today.
I need to do that.
What?
He's starting to look less and less like me, boys.
Hey, I can hook you up with a discount. Just in case.
You got that?
Either one of you.
You got that corporate discount?
Yeah, I think I get like $4 off. So,
Dang. How much is it total?
like 100.
32 grand? Wait, a DNA parental test? Is that what's parental DNA?
Yeah, it's like
As if the
$100.
I don't know if mom's like, I don't know if it's mine. Well,
They actually do have maternity tests. I'm like, didn't she do the thing?
Didn't she feel it?
But I guess if you like got adopted or whatever, you can go back and find out.
Also, they steal babies from the
Is he
hospital.
passing out?
You guys
Yeah,
ever
that's
heard
true.
about that?
But you know they
Ooh,
put those
yeah, that
little
does happen.
they put those little ankle bracelets on them now,
Yeah.
so you can't.
So that way they can't commit crimes.
Yeah, you just got to run really fast.
Well, yeah. So the alarm goes off when
Yeah.
they're being stolen. Oh, baby's being stolen.
Oh, shit. Not again.
We doing this?
Oh, man, I got real nervous.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Let's go. Let's do it.
No.
Let's do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's Thunderheads with Brandon Soul, Rob Larson, Justin Wright, and the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Oh my gosh. There's so many things going on right now. I don't even know where to start. So I'll start here. We're live at Opolis. We
Yes.
love this
Hey.
place. We're here once a month. We're here again, and it feels good to be back on this table. Something about this table just gives
It's like
us
home.
It is like home. It feels homey in here. Even though we have to come in and set the thermostat to our liking, it feels like home. The internet, also another thing that's going on. We're having some technical difficulties as we came in here.
So it's a little herky-jerky.
Yeah, the video might be herky-jerky if you're with us live on YouTube. If you're not, the audio should be coming through also perfectly fine. Sorry for any troubles that you might have. It's just kind of what we have to deal with here. They don't have that fiber like we got back at home.
Mm-hmm.
Back at that home studio. By the way, you can use promo code Thunderheads. Get 13% off your order on opolisclothing.com, or just walk in here and just say Thunderheads, and I bet you they give you 13% off. They're really cool people. Awesome shirts, as you can see here. We're all wearing them. I have this new...
Well, almost all of us.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't want to ruin it yet. Next, we have a buzzed Rob Larson.
That's right.
Had one beer.
It's been a bit.
It's been a long time. He's not a drinker. He's not a drinker like the other three of us.
No.
And so it just kind of hits you.
Yeah, my head's a little bubbly, if I'm being honest with you.
So it snuck up on you. You weren't expecting it, and did that kind of magnify the whole situation?
A little bit. It was a little, didn't expect it.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're here, and, we've been trying to get you to drink the second beer now, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, not happening.
So the beer pressure, not working. Peer pressure, this is beer pressure.
I got Jason one, though. Here you go,
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's working out. And last, it's punishment day. And by the way,
basketballs.
yeah, for basketballs, it's punishment day for Justin. And if you know anything about Justin, he went to OU. That's all you need
Guys,
to know.
first and foremost, the thing about Justin Wright is that he is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma.
And when you're a graduate of the University of Oklahoma and a supporter of all of their athletics, which he is, he's a very loyal sports fan. If you know anything about Justin, he's a very loyal sports fan. He does not waver. Through thick and thin, man, this guy loves his teams, and it's what we love about him. However, it's also what we just shoved in his face.
That's
today.
right. That's right.
He hates OSU.
With a deep, fiery passion, like an
hates
orange,
Texas.
like a deep orange passion.
And it's ironic, too, because I think he has to be somewhat conflicted. I'm talking like he's not here. I feel like he has to be somewhat conflicted because the Thunder are really incorporating orange into their colors
That's right.
right now. So there's got to be something there that's kind of frustrating to him. So if
Is he just meditating right now?
As the winner from last time.
Right, yeah. So you were victorious.
It was.
last month.
It is. You look good, bud. But I do have one request. We got to hear you in that mic while you got the mask on.
Yeah, what do you got to say about this?
Get into the mic there.
I hate you so much.
So if you are only listening and you're not watching, it's a bad time to be that guy, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll explain it to you. Justin is dressed in one of those. What do you call these?
So if you've ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the green man that Charlie adorns, it's basically that, but it's very orange.
It is piss fucking orange.
It is.
You need to go to a doctor.
It's an orange. It's an orange bodysuit, is what it is.
Right. It's a spandex bodysuit or whatever the hell.
Very form-fitting.
Very form-fitting.
We've seen all
We
of Justin
saw too
today.
much.
We got to know him so well today. And the funniest thing about it is that there's just a few pieces of hair.
He couldn't fit all of it. We're lucky he got the beard in. We couldn't expect him
The
to
beard,
My beard is so messed up.
you've all
right
seen
now.
his beard. It's like really just sucked up into his face.
It is really itchy.
It seems like you might be actually eating the beard because there's not much room.
I pulled this away and actually got my beard to rest.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh.
But we gotta commend you. You know, you're taking it like a champ, man. You're doing it. You could have said no. I'm not. This is
That wouldn't have been fun, though.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. You would have been out of the podcast. But you know, here you are, and I'm proud of you. And you know, another cool thing about Opolis, to go back to them, where are we using these coasters? Here's a Russ coaster. Justin's got an OKC coaster. These are they got cool stuff here.
I got the
Hey,
PG-13 one.
And
just so
I've
you know.
got, he's a great guy.
Mellow.
Yeah, that's
Doubles.
a little outdated, but you know what? It's working as a coaster, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
And speaking of Mello, he's a bit of a coaster himself.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Mostly he's a great guy.
Let's welcome in the YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, live crowd. Like we said, we might be having technical difficulties today. Hopefully it's not too bad for you. The audio should be fine. Like, subscribe anywhere you can, anywhere you find podcasts. You can do that. You can hit that little thumbs up on YouTube if you do enjoy the show. Let's do the show.
Let's do it.
All right, Justin, go ahead.
Thank you.
He's back to normal.
Oh,
We'll let you be a part
He's
of it.
unmasked. We're unmasking.
My hair is in this zipper.
Oh, no.
So here we are letting Justin unzip his head so he can reveal his head and actually be on the
Whoa!
podcast. There, look at that lock.
Oh!
Look at those luscious locks.
That
Who's
beard.
that? Steven Adams over there?
Oh my goodness, he's attractive.
Wow.
You just found out that you're attracted to Justin.
Gonna need some.
This is the reveal.
Gonna need some extra beard oil tonight.
Hey, it's a good thing I make my own now.
That's true. You can.
In the bathtub. His bathtub's just full of homemade beard oil. All right, let's go. Huh?
I'm about to do balm too. I'm all over it, man.
Balm with an L?
Not bomb.
Well, I was
Of course
hoping
it's-
not. I would
yeah.
make sure.
Yeah, no, beard balm.
Beard balm.
Yeah.
Do you pronounce the L in balm?
You have to pronounce.
At this point, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's true. Especially if you're in an airport. All right. Paul George, man, we got to start here. Yesterday, right? It was official. Paul George named an all-star. Named an all-star starter. Sorry, cut that off short. Really great accomplishment, man. The third time he's been named that in his career. Obviously, the first two were in the East. I think it's a new level of accomplishment when you do it in the West, especially today, right? There's 14 good teams in the Western Conference. 14. There's 15 total teams. There's 14 of them that are good teams. Paul George just got named a starter in an MVP caliber season that he's having right now. Totally deserved, right? He completely deserved this over Anthony Davis even, who got left
Right.
off. Is that fair?
Well, the interesting part was how he got in. The fact that the fan vote was what pushed him over Anthony Davis. That's kind of the really cool part is that we
did our part.
Yeah, we kind of that's what we
and
needed
congrats
to do.
to everyone out there, too, for doing that.
But it is really cool, and one of the best parts of this is the fact that whenever he agreed to stay, all you hear is what a mistake. Like, this is one of the things that you're going to lose out on, especially going to the West, but not playing in LA in a bigger market, whatever. And it's awesome that it worked out, and he's a starter, and I think it kind of validates what he did a little bit.
Is it almost like good karma? I mean, obviously, that discredits the work that he's put in, I think, if you just entirely credit it to good karma. But the fact that, you know, he followed his heart, so to speak, you know, as cliche as it sounds, he did. He said, wow, this team made a gamble to trade for me. It paid off. It paid off for the Thunder, obviously, and it's paying off for Paul George right now.
Well, I don't feel like it's just good karma for Paul George, which obviously it definitely is, because you make a big decision to say somewhere that no one else, like everyone's like, oh, no one would ever want to live in Oklahoma City. It's such a terrible place. Which is
Seeing our canal.
It's just low hanging fruit, and it's BS. But that's
Right.
neither here nor there. But it's also great for Oklahoma City because it just seems like Oklahoma City Thunder, they get on this run. They win a bunch of games, and then someone's ankle breaks. Or, just like that we've dealt with so many injuries as fans. And, like, it just seems like when things are going really well, something terrible happens. And so it's good to have, like, a string of good things kind of all happen at once. And it feels nice as a fan to just see, like, hey, that's one of my guys. He's going to go represent the Western Conference as a starter.
And I think another thing, just to add on to that, is I was thinking about it last night, and I think I shared this with you guys, is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but this year we're on pace to have the first year in Thunder history to have someone that leads this team in scoring other than Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant. In the history of the Thunder franchise.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Not counting the Sonics, obviously.
Yeah, we don't count them.
Paul George is that this year. I mean, this dude's having an MVP caliber season. Does that stat alone, the fact that he's on pace to be that guy this year, it's almost a new day in Oklahoma City, right? It's almost a new era in a way. Even though Russ is still here, it's a new era, right?
Oh, absolutely. Paul George has really asserted himself as, it was Russ's franchise until Paul George got here. And then even when Paul George was here last season, there was that sentiment that if he leaves, like, you don't want to get too attached to him because he might go. So
and our hearts have been broken for years now.
Yeah, but now
they're starting to mend.
They are.
He's now easily 1B. He's not the second guy. It's not just Russ's team anymore. It's Russ's 1A and PG is 1B. He's established himself as that guy.
And it can interchange any night. And that's the cool thing, is that you actually see Russ. I don't know if it's not like he's slowly giving up the throne to Paul George or saying, hey, this is your team. He's not doing that at all. He's like, these guys are just playing basketball, and it's cool. It's not about my team, your team, where it always used to be, and a lot of that's the media narrative back in the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook days. Whose team is it? Is it Durant's team? Is it Westbrook's team? There's a battle here. It's these guys against each other, and said, hey, these guys are on the same team. With Russell Westbrook and Paul George, it's very clear. There's this narrative going right now. Paul George stayed. What does that tell you about Russell Westbrook? People are starting to appreciate the teammate that Russell Westbrook actually is, even on a national level. We're starting to learn, wow, these are teammates. Like, these guys are working together towards something bigger. It's not a battle. It's not for individual stats.
And that's what is the best part, is the fact that he's bought in, and that's probably what kept him. Like, even as rough as it was last season, like, that bond, and he talked about it through the entire process, but that bond is what I would ultimately make him stay.
And what's that say about the Thunder organization, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you take that gamble, because you don't make that gamble unless you feel very confident in who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I don't have an analogy. I was going to make up one on the side. I don't have one.
Well, what you were saying a second ago.
You don't have an analogy?
No, I don't have an analogy. But what you were saying a second ago with the my turn, your turn thing with KD, and it felt like that last year with the OK3 or whatever they were at the time. They were just kind of handing the ball off to each other and like, you go do it. I was actually thinking about this last night because it seemed like the team actually was flowing. The ball was flowing around the court, and it wasn't like Russ was going down there, I'm going to take my turn and then give the ball, like force the ball to PG. It was kind of just like a natural flow of things. They would give the ball to Jeremy Grant at the top of the key. Like, there's just pieces moving around. And it just feels so much more of a team than it has in so many years to me.
There's no longer is there this idea that, like, you wait for someone else to make a play. You wait for Russ to make a play. Is it you step up and you make the damn play yourself?
Check out the shot distribution from last night.
Yeah.
I tweeted something out about it last night, but, and this is going to be a part of a larger conversation we're going to have on this podcast today when we get there. I don't want to get to it too soon because I want to hang on Paul George for a bit, but since we're here, I want to hit this. 19 shots for Russ against the Pelicans last night. 18 for Paul George. 15 for Grant. 14 for Ferguson. 12 for Adams. 8 for Schroeder. And then 5 each for Noel, Patterson, and Nader. That's all 9 guys that played. So every single guy that played took at least 5 shots.
That's awesome.
That's unprecedented in Thunder history, right? That's not Thunder basketball as we know it. And we're watching it change. The culture is changing.
There's absolutely no way that's ever happened in franchise history, right?
It feels like there's no, unless it was just like a blowout from the tip.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that that's ever happened.
And it's also good to see that they had 33 assists on 50 made baskets. Like, that's a lot of those guys aren't going to be able to create on their own, and they're going to need help. But that's part of it is like Schroeder and Russ being able to help out in that way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is just the built-in confidence that. Who was it? Me and someone, or maybe it was us last week. We were talking about, maybe us three last week. We were talking about how everyone's having career highs except for Russell Westbrook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And normally, before the season, if we told you that, you'd be like, wow, that's awesome. This team's going to be really, really good. If everyone's having career highs, they are really good. I mean, they're the third seed. I think before the season, if we tell you they'd be the third seed at this point in the season, 48 games in the season, be content with that, right?
Oh yeah, you can live with it. You get you're guaranteed a few games in the playoffs in Oklahoma City, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, if you would have said you're 4 games behind the Warriors at the start of the season,
right?
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
sure, I'll take that.
And Nuggets are one of the teams that are ahead of you. They're not uncatchable.
Right.
Like, I know right now the Nuggets are a really good team. They're deep, but they're not uncatchable.
Yeah.
Like, would anyone be really surprised if the Nuggets just went real cold here in a few weeks?
No.
It wouldn't be that surprising, right?
Yeah.
So you never know what can happen. Yeah. Let's go back to PG, though. Where's he at in the MVP conversation? You have Harden going insane
Dear
right
gosh.
now. And, it's very reminiscent of the Russ MVP season, right? The 16-17 season. It's different, but the same, right? He's carrying that team to victories as Russ did in different ways. He's doing it by scoring 50, 60 points. Russ did it by accounting for 80 points each game, assisting, scoring. Where does, Paul George he's quiet, right? His game's a little quiet. It's gotten a little louder. He's got 2 game winners on the year. He's stepped up in the clutch a couple times, crossing guys over, popping them in their faces, man.
He's gotten a little fancy this year, and it's been kind of nice.
Oh, it's been awesome. But overall, he's not a super in-your-face, take 28 shots a game guy. It's funny because the script has flipped here.
One thing that I have him at third right now. I still have him behind Giannis and Harden. Harden, I think, is my go-to number 1 guy right now, just because of the way he's playing and just the fact that he's really chained that team to his legs and is just struggling up that mountain. But it's working. He's making progress. But
like Sisyphus or whatnot.
That's a different conversation.
We're doing that again?
Well, yeah, that's 2 in a row. Yeah.
I don't know what's
But
happening.
I will say, so one thing that I think will help not Russ, but PG a lot at the end of the season when voters do make that vote is that he's a complete player. He's working on both ends of the floor, and I think that boosts him quite a bit. And with the steal numbers up and like just the way he's got the perception of being an elite wing defender. So I think that end of the floor definitely helps him, especially when those offensive numbers might pale in comparison to a Harden.
So you have him in third. Are we talking who you think will win, or how you would rank them right now?
That's how I personally look at it.
Okay, because
or both. Maybe?
He's not even close to third.
Really?
As what I would expect to win it. Not currently.
Really?
I mean, he finished fourth in media votes for like front court player.
Right.
And so that's just Western Conference front court players. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you include,
that's probably a fair indicator.
If we're being real.
If you include,
yeah, we should be real.
If you include Harden and Steph, throw in LeBron, that's already 3 guys that you would have that I would for sure have ahead of him.
You think LeBron's missed like 16 games though?
Who I think will win. Who I think they would give it to.
But you think that they would actually at this
100.
point in the season?
LeBron he was voted number 1 by the media for front court players.
That's crazy.
In the All-Star
That's
game.
so dumb.
That's great. I do wonder.
And he had 35 more votes than Paul George got. To me, he's not even. I don't have him even third in the West. Who I think will win it.
Right.
We watch him every night, and it's incredible what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true.
So I think who I think will win it. I think he's probably 6th.
Do you think it's a case of him not being so flashy, not being that guy that's just so in your face?
It's just changing a little bit, especially recently. I feel like whenever you see, whenever you watch national media, these shows, I feel
he's getting the attention.
You're seeing it a little bit more as it goes on.
Right.
The shot against the Sixers, I mean, like
Yeah, that was money,
the
man.
first ABC Saturday primetime game of the season, and he does that.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we are sort of. He's moving because before recently, I feel like he probably would have been even further down from where I think he is right now with 5th or 6th. And so I don't know, but we watch him every night and he's incredible. And I don't think it's fair. I think that he is much better. Like you said, LeBron has missed a bunch of games. This is a season long, so maybe he comes back and he's fine and he plays majority of the games. Who knows? But as of right now, I think it's a little bit crazy to have Paul George under LeBron and even Kevin Durant, who gets to play with Steph Curry. Like there's something there as
There's
well.
got to be a cancellation there.
And not just Steph, but Clay. And then you throw in Draymond.
He's got a whole Olympic team on his team.
It's always going to
ridiculous.
look better whenever you're winning more games, and it's just and you don't have as much responsibility. And so I wouldn't put him right now. Just for my rankings, I would have him at 4th. Where I would put him, not where I think he would finish,
So
but
Harden,
just where,
Giannis, and then who's over
and
him?
Steph is who I would have.
So you don't dock Steph for how many games has
I'd have
Steph
to look
missed?
at
Probably
Steph's
like
game.
11.
It
or
wasn't.
12.
It was like 11 or 12. Yeah, it wasn't.
That's a decent
ton.
amount. I mean, you're talking about 48 games played, so Steph's missed 78%.
There's value.
75% of his
There's
games.
value in the games that he missed. He had value
You're right.
because
It showed how valuable he is.
You're right,
because-
but I also think there's value in durability.
Sure.
So
yeah.
yeah, it's funny to actually think about how maybe Paul George not getting the credit that maybe we feel like he should get in the MVP conversation could be blamed on Russell Westbrook a little bit. Not this year. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But Russell Westbrook's MVP season.
Right. Yep.
Because Russ changed things. He set a precedent. He said, I'm the 6th seed. I can win it as the 6th seed. I can win it because I'm putting up all these numbers. I'm doing all these things in your face. You can't possibly ignore it.
So that
you
kind
can
of-
ignore what Paul George is doing because he's not going out there and scoring 48 points
Right.
and putting up 16 assists in a game. Like he's not
He's
doing
not
it.
like tying a Wilt
He's just
Chamberlain record.
He's just steady, man. He just knows how to play. Like he just knows how to play.
So it kind of ruins the narrative of like, well, Harden's doing all this stuff, but he's a 7th seed or whatever.
Right.
Like might happen.
It's also unfortunate that it's so offensive heavy, because you're looking at a guy in Paul George who
Defensive Player of the Year, probably leader right now.
you
front
can
runner.
make
He
that
most
case.
definitely
Right?
should be, yeah.
You're never going to make that case for Harden. It's
Yeah.
just never going to happen.
No?
The fact that he is so far ahead for everybody because of how good he's been offensively, scoring 50 plus. I don't know how many times that he's done it in
It's
a row. Like it's
many.
insane. The 61 or 63, whatever he just had.
It's
As
good
well.
for them old fantasy points. I'll tell you that.
But
fellas.
he also is having those moments, also against bad teams. Against what was it? I just watched the game the other night.
Knicks?
Was it the Knicks? Yeah, where they
torched
had
them.
they were going to come back. They had to actually come back to win that game, and it's like, man, how do you? He's also going to have these moments that people can just point at.
Mhm.
It's important.
Yeah.
Those things that just kind of stick out, like the Paul George shot. Bring that team back. Whenever Russ fouls out and Paul
Right.
George wins that game on
Yep.
that shot, like it's you
Those
have
are
to have
MVP
those moments.
Well, that's the thing. You can't look at, like, I think there's going to be a lot of Thunder fans that are just resentful towards James Harden because there's this weird beef that goes on between Harden fans and Russ fans, and it's just
shouldn't be.
weird. Like, everyone's just players, okay? And like, they're both awesome players.
Yeah,
Like, let's
they're
just
both
leave
very,
it there.
very good.
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
As
And
Billy
they're
would say.
friends. They're
And
good friends.
and they're friends. So like, you can't sit here and defend Russell Westbrook's MVP season and say totally deserved MVP, and then turn around and look at Harden right now and be like,
no.
nope.
Yeah.
Like it's
Doesn't work.
very similar. So like, that's kind of something I wanted to.
So
go
where
for.
do you guys have him?
I think you're probably right on around 4 or 5.
I put him at like 3-4, but
Wow.
I think you're probably right.
Three's high. How big is the gap between?
I got
Harden?
a lot of bias going on here,
How
but
big is the gap between Harden and whoever you want
It's
to put?
vast.
Giannis?
right now.
See, I think Harden's got a slim lead on Giannis because I think that Harden, if they go on a bad streak, if they lose 5 of 7,
yeah.
he slides. Like that slides him.
I kind of already expected that to happen, and whenever you're
Chris Paul's
needing,
about to be back.
yeah, but they're still going to be without Capella. Like they're not.
And Chris Paul sucks, you guys. Just remember that.
I mean, he's going to have to come back and figure things out as well because Harden has been It's the same thing we said with Russ, but Russ did it for an entire season and then had to figure things out. But it's totally different whenever Harden is playing the way that he is, and then you're going to bring Chris Paul in. Maybe it's not fair because they had a season last year to figure it out. But there could be some growing pains. Like it may not.
Well,
be
he's
seamless.
he's not going to put up 60 on a regular basis with Chris Paul.
Yeah, he won't have to.
So I think he has a slim lead on Giannis right now, but I would say just the fact that the Bucks have the best record in the entire league, and they've just been doing it consistently and playing so well. Giannis is going to be there. He's going to be ahead of Paul George.
If the Bucks finish first overall in the league, do you think Giannis just gets it?
No, not if Harden keeps doing this like that. Like
that's pretty crazy.
How can
like,
you
to
look
be
at a
the
guy?
Bucks?
What is? I think Harden's up to around 36 a game on the year.
nuts.
He dropped 35 tonight on 9 of 25 shooting.
Game over
In a win. Yeah, 120.
So that brought his scoring average down.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's
drops 35 and it goes down.
So I think Kobe averaged 35 point some change in 05, I want to say. And then before that, I don't think anyone had averaged close to that since Jordan.
36.3 before tonight.
Wow.
Damn.
So that'd be the highest, if I'm not wrong, since Jordan in the late 80s.
Damn.
Who averaged around 37.1, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to win then, huh?
I mean,
it's hard to because like everyone, so you can say scoring's not everything, but
It
it's
kind
the
of is the
biggest
point of
thing.
basketball.
It's the biggest thing in basketball.
kind of what you're doing, right?
It is.
It's also the easiest thing to point at.
Yeah.
Like steals, you're looking at like so a guy has 2 steals compared to a guy who's got 4. It's like it seems significant whenever you're watching it, and also steals are a little deceiving. They can be because you don't. It's not necessarily just on ball locking a guy up. You
Sometimes
can cheat
it can
off
just
of it,
happen.
whatever. Yeah, whatever could happen.
Yeah, like Harden's up there in league leading skills, and to your point, he's
Yeah.
not going to be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year.
It's just
close.
like 36.3 points per game, but also 8.3 assists.
Yeah,
like
his usage rate's got to be around 70.
yeah, I don't have the
like
stat.
where is
It's
it?
up there.
It's so high.
I did see it earlier today. I don't remember what it is, but it's high.
they actually don't play basketball when he's on the bench.
Yeah.
They
you
just
see-
kind of
Oh,
stand there.
40.6. He led the league last year with 36.1.
40.6. That's lower than I thought. Which I bet since Chris Paul's been out, it's been higher than that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that play against the Knicks the other night where Eric Gordon inbounded the ball?
yeah.
And PJ Tucker like boxed someone out instead of grabbing the ball.
Yeah, James supposed to touch the ball.
Yeah,
James got to touch it.
Gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
That's our goal.
That's not supposed to go to me. He was boxing it over.
I've never even touched it
James,
before.
he's just yelling, Jay.
Where you at, James?
He's on the bench. Shit.
All right, before we move on, back to All-Star talk just real quick. Is Russ a lock to make the team?
Lock seems strong.
I'm going to say no.
Is that too strong of a
I'm going
word?
to say no with a lock.
Wow. So, you know,
I think he has a very good
coaches-
chance of making it.
Coaches select these teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I think he has a very good chance of making the team, and I think he probably should. But it's just
Give me a percentage. Number.
go 63% chance.
Whoa, that's low.
Is it?
Yeah.
Low in my opinion.
I'd go.
You're bad at numbers. It's okay.
I'm horrible with numbers. Don't even know how math works. I just
111.
picked that out of the. I was like rotating like a slot machine with numbers, and it just stopped on 63. So
I'm surprised
that's
you
how
didn't.
I pick stuff.
I'm surprised you didn't just give us like letters. Really, the fact that it was numbers
G.
is positive.
Hey,
Yeah.
7. No, I just like with Russ. It's his shooting is really hampering him in this whole situation. I
But
think.
isn't it amazing though?
He's still got a
what
triple-double.
he still does.
He's averaging a triple double still.
Yeah, like
how would that happen?
I don't think that coaches are going to be able to ignore that. I mean, he's still a guy that you have to game plan entirely around.
Probably more so than anybody else on
Well, and that's-
on this team. Like he is running the show, and
You think he is? You think he's the guy that coaches have to game plan number one for?
yeah,
You think he's first when you
creates-
open that scouting book?
he
Russell
creates
Westbrook's
the
number one.
yeah. I
You
think
have to think about him all the time.
I think he creates
I
the
do.
biggest
I do
matchup
too.
problems for teams, and that's where you start. It's
Love
still,
him.
even though Paul George is incredible, and you definitely have to figure that out as well. But I think it all starts with Russ.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think if he's not a lock, he's very close to a lock to me. I think that, like I said, coaches respect him too much. Coaches respect vets too. He's a vet. What is this? His 10th or 11th year in the league.
It'd be weird if
He's
he didn't
averaging
get in.
a triple double for the 3rd consecutive year. It's one of those things. Coaches are not going to be able to ignore that. They know. They know how good this guy is.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like the coaches have never watched any of the All-Star games in the past few years.
And watched him
Russ has
win
been
the scoring title twice.
Russ has been fun to watch.
Russ is
in
a top
All-Star
5
games.
All-Star game player of all
That's right.
time.
Yeah. That's right.
But and especially like if you're looking for ratings and you're the NBA,
you don't have
you're
Russ in
gonna start
there?
calling those coaches. Be like, hey, by the way, that Russell Westbrook guy, maybe go ahead and slot him
And
in.
if you don't, we're
one of
fudging the
those.
numbers. So he's
Yeah.
getting in.
Adams have 0 chance. Is it over?
I wouldn't say 0. I'll put it about 7A.
With the way that centers are in the league now, I think it's pretty much a 0 chance because you're gonna give it to you're gonna have Davis and you're gonna have Jokic. And so it's just like there's not really any other room for Steven Adams. Although I think the dude's absolutely deserving. I also think that he's going to enjoy his time off.
What is he going to do during his time off?
He's going to play Fortnite, eat a bunch, work out every now and then.
Hell yeah.
And probably sleep more than he has all season.
You nailed the shit out of that. All right, moving on.
It's my daily routine right there.
That's actually
Starts to
correct.
work out.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
No.
I know. He's probably not going to do it.
Unfortunately,
It's cool that we got him all that vote.
He's
Well-
gonna be close. He maybe a reserve. You could maybe he's gonna
yeah.
get on there as a reserve.
if
and-
some
like that.
injuries happen, yeah, I think that his numbers have slid a little too much in
They
the
have.
past couple weeks,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's going to hurt him.
Isn't
in the
it
end.
crazy that Paul George was a reserve last year and ended up getting in? Like that's how he got in.
Like he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
And now look at
seems
him.
weird now.
Would he have stayed if
In
you
your
hadn't
face,
have gotten him
NBA.
as a reserve?
Yeah, probably.
Ooh.
He was never leaving.
I like that.
I was on
Unfinished
record.
business. Right?
Something like that. That's what he said on ESPN.
All right, let's move on.
Let's do it.
So lately, the Thunder offense been really good.
Weird.
Been really good. Last 10 games, a 115 rating on offense. That's 7th in the league in that same span. They're shooting 41.7% from 3 in the last 10 games, which is 2nd in the entire NBA. This is what's been the worst shooting three-pointing team in the entire league.
We've been like
for the
29th.
season. Yeah, I think they're like
30th.
29th or 28th now. They've been 30th most of the year. But in the same span, defensively, it's a 115.6 defensive rating. So a little worse than offense. That's 28th in the league.
Yeah.
So they just flip-flopped.
Things are
That's
flipping.
what happened.
But what I want to ask you guys is the offense picking this up, maybe catching a groove a little bit. It's the defense has been the sacrifice here, right? I mean, I guess for whatever reason they haven't been able to do both at a high level right now. However, is the fact that they're catching this groove offensively, a groove that they haven't settled in all year until now. Is this a good thing? Is this for the greater good for this team?
It's definitely for the greater good because there's still you don't just forget how to play defense. Like we've talked about this all season. It's an effort thing, and they have to do a better job of guarding the 3-point line. And I think that they're still going to be fine as the season goes on. That number that you said, 28th in defensive rating over the last 10 games?
Yes.
Obviously not good at all. But I still feel like you'll be able to turn that around, and hopefully you figured out the offense a little bit better and can utilize some of that while maintaining your defense. If they're going to be, what were they, second? Did you say second in offense?
Yes. No. 7th in offense.
7th in offense. Like, if you're going to be 7th in offense and maintain being first like they had been in defense, that's a ridiculous team. It's just probably not reasonable to expect that. And so you don't want it to dip to 28. That's really bad. Maybe it suggests some problems, but I don't know. I'm not worried about the defense. The fact that the offense has sort of figured its way out, figured it out, and they haven't needed it to be on defense, leading to easier offense, is only going to benefit them going forward.
I agree with that. You can pick up the defense overall, but in this past 10, I mean, they're 5-5 in the last 10. But with being at 7th and 28th respectively, that's not something that you want to see at all. So that defense definitely has to come back, to your point, Rob, and it should. They've got the talent. They just have to put in the work, and they haven't been. I also do feel like there are a few really, really bad games that are kind of inflating that number a little bit. But at the same time, you don't want to allow those because they were really bad teams. But if they have to give the effort, they have to actually put in the work. And if they could pick that defense up, I think the offense will decline again. But that's a good team. That's a sustainable team.
I think it's just nice to be able to win games both ways.
Yeah.
And I think that what you've seen a lot of times with this team, and the reason they've struggled a lot of times in close games this season, is because their offense sucks.
Yeah.
And right now their offense is playing really well. And so, yeah, you're going to need your defense down the stretch. You got to come up with stops, but coming up with stops doesn't matter if you can't score. Like, you got to be able to score a little bit, too, and you got to be able to – and making shots is a big part of that. 42% from 3 in the last 10 games. Wow. You know who's a big part of that is Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah.
Like the emergence of Terrence Ferguson, man.
Solved a lot.
Yeah. Right? Like, what do you make of this? Like, is this just a thing now? Is this just who Terrence Ferguson is for the rest of the season?
I've bought in completely.
Or is this just like he's just hot right now? He's a second-year player. He's gonna regress again. He's gonna come back and he's gonna find that consistency more down the road. Or is this who he is?
I mean, I don't think he's gonna end up just shooting 50% for every game like he
Well,
had
why not?
for a little bit. But I mean, he's gonna regress a little. I mean, you saw it last night. What was he like?
2 for 8.
2 for 8. Yeah, like that's not great. But he still scored 14 points. He was good overall, and his defense is staying at the almost elite level that he's gotten it to.
I wouldn't put his defense at elite, but he's a good
I said
defender.
almost elite.
That's fine.
It was a caveat there.
But he's a good defender, right?
Yeah.
And to me, what's actually most encouraging about the 2 for 8 is the fact that he took 8.
He's taking them.
He took 8.
And he's confident in taking every one of them.
And he started something. I think he missed his first 3 or 4.
Yep.
And who remembers? Like, he'd miss his first couple back in the day, and he was
Shut
shy.
down.
He wouldn't shoot anymore. He wouldn't even get open. He wouldn't even see the ball. Now the ball is still finding him. The guys are still trusting him. Russ is still trusting him. PG's finding him. Adams is kicking it out to him. Whatever. He's still, and then he's pulling. He's shooting.
Right. And last night, the coolest thing to me was after he missed about 3 in a row, he made the extra pass, found a guy, or drove
hit Grant
and kicked.
hit Grant in the corner for a big 3 after he hadn't made 1.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after that, he drove and kicked out somebody. And I don't know if they made it, but I think it was
There's
Schroeder or
about
something.
1 or 2 possessions per game now that they're putting the ball in Ferguson's hands and letting
Just
him
saying,
dribble.
You do whatever.
It's working out not very often, but
it's cool
this
that it's
is-
happening.
Is this something that we're going to see going forward? Like, are they trying to develop this guy as a playmaker?
I think so.
Maybe not so much as a playmaker, but it's just a wrinkle in the offense that, especially when things bog down.
Never hurts to have another guy.
It's
that
just
can,
the ability to maybe something can happen from that.
Yeah, because you're not going to have a whole lot of tape on, and all of a sudden Terrence Ferguson has the ball, like, oh, he's just going to shoot. I'm going to play up on him. And then he just blows by you, and if you close down on him in the lane, you've got a wide open guy in the corner to kick to. Oh, well, we have to pay attention to that the entire time for the rest of this game? Well, that's not fair because we still have to worry about Russ. We still have to worry about Paul George. We still have to worry about Steven Adams. It's just another wrinkle that you have to add when you've got a guy that's going to get the minutes as a starter like Terrence Ferguson.
So he
is.
can't just be Klay Thompson? Just dribble
It'd
4
be
times
nice.
and
That'd be
score
cool.
50,
It'd be nice.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
50, 100
so,
points?
So, like, one thing, this is a small sample size, but over the last 3 games, the Thunder is 5th in offensive rating at 117.4 and 14th in defensive rating at 108.3. So what's, like, the sweet spot to you? Do you think they have, like, an area where, like, the defense needs to be?
I think who this team is at its core and what makes them good is the defense, right?
Right.
So to me, I need that defense to be top 3. In the end, when you're competing in the playoffs, I need you to compete like a top 3 defense. And then I think if you're a top 12, 13 offense, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I wonder, yeah, that's fine, but I wonder what the pace is.
That's fine,
on-
but listen.
What's their, how are they ranking pace? Because that's
First.
So that's
Over,
also,
over the last 3, they're 105. in
Wow.
pace.
that's also part of it, and that's also part of why the defense is going to struggle a little bit too.
Right.
So, I don't know.
And also that
That's
bench
interesting.
sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you saw in the Pelicans game, like how I feel like most of the Pelicans scoring last night
all
was
on that fourth.
just rushing up the court and getting a quick layup.
Well,
Like,
it was kind of what bites this team. It feels like almost every game,
bites them in the dust.
and it's
Bye.
I don't know what that means. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, it's just an old wives' tale.
Okay, well,
Jesus.
but what usually ends up
What's
getting them
going
is
on?
that weak
It got
side
worse.
help defense off of the pick and roll, and that's what was getting them against the Pelicans.
Are they giving that up, like, on purpose to stop threes?
Well, no, it's just
Eh.
bad defense. And Steven Adams talked about it at the end of the game where he was saying like that is exactly what they have to clear up. Like guys have to rotate off of that better. And whenever they struggle, whenever you see teams score on them so easily, like the Pelicans did down the stretch in that fourth quarter, that's exactly what it is. And it feels like Steven Adams needs that other guy who can protect the rim, like Jeremy Grant coming over and just just jumping whenever and staying in the air and being able to knock it away is huge for this team. Like the fact that he's so athletic on that weak side is what they need.
Yeah. And I do think Jeremy Grant gets a little bit of a pass defensively, I'm not saying he deserves to get a pass. I'm saying he's been getting a little bit of a pass defensively. I don't know what his rebounding numbers on the year are, but I know he's playing 30 to 35 minutes a game, and he's averaging somewhere around 4.5 rebounds a game.
5. But
Five rebounds a game?
5 rebounds a game.
You probably expect normally a little more out of your power forward than that.
It's hard, man.
Well, when you have Russ
and
Paul George rebounding at the rate, I understand. Your rebounds are going to be down. But I have noticed lately, Jeremy Grant's just been a little out of it defensively. I don't think he's been all there, and he's not a guy that you're watching all the time, right? Out of that starting 5, he's the guy you're probably watching the least on the defensive end.
Do you think he's become a little bit reactionary to where he just wants to get in the right spot? Like, the main defense that I've seen him play over the last week or so has been get in front of guy and take a charge. It doesn't seem like he's really trying to stay in front outside of just like, if I can beat this guy to this one spot and just, to hold my nuts.
He's good at it, though.
He's good at it.
Yeah,
and it's nice to have a guy that is good at that.
Right.
Because he is that guy in that lineup.
Schroeder's that too, but
true.
At the same time, like
That's
the on-ball defense and trying to stay around a guy and box him out and like really put him in his place on the defensive end, it just doesn't seem to be there. It's like I take the charge or the guy scores. Like that seems to be kind of the two outcomes as of late.
I think 5 is a good number for Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just, I guess I was just trying to make a point that he's not just overwhelming on that end. He's not just pulling it because he doesn't really offensive rebound.
No, not at all. But it's kind of, I don't know. I think he's in a really tough spot because whenever teams are doing that, you're not going to blame. That's who you're going to blame because you're not going to blame Adams, who's extremely solid. Obviously, Paul George gets a pass. I think the point guards get off a little bit too easy. In the fact that you're not doing enough before it gets to getting around the pick and stuff like that. And so, but Jeremy Grant is the guy that you can kind of point at because whenever they're running that pick and roll and the weak side guy, somebody comes on the weak side and is just kind of wide open, that's who it's on, even though there's other steps that could be done before it gets to that point where Russ and Schroeder have to get over screens better and have to defend better. So I don't know. I'm still definitely he can improve, but
well,
his numbers still
look really good. I think the defense lately, it's not one guy. Like you're seeing,
For sure.
I think the thing what's biting this team is that every possession, it's a new player's fault. You're like, well, that was him. That was him on this position. That was Adams. That was Westbrook here. Wow, George just got beat off the dribble by Holiday on this position. 2 in a row, So it's just kind of a collective thing there.
It feels like that's like what we were talking about, Rob. Like with the pick and roll defense and the backside help. That feels like the one place where because Ferguson's been great. And, we kind of mentioned this early in the year that he was almost like a Robertson proxy. Uh-huh. And without Robertson in that lineup, I feel like that's where you miss him the most is that that backside help, the rotations, the things that he would call out as a wing defender because he was very vocal as a defender, as well as Steven Adams, like kind of learning to be that forward general. Robertson wasn't afraid to do that. He wasn't afraid to call people out, not call people out, but call out what's going on and be vocal and get people in the right spot. I feel like that's the one place where Ferguson doesn't quite make up the difference in it and him not being Andre Robertson. Obviously, the offensive end makes up a ton of that ground back.
Well, it's also Schroeder's not doing that as well. Like, it's not just like you could name any of those guys that are playing with Russ. Like, nobody is really going to be able to do that, especially not like Dre would be able to.
And speaking of offensively for Ferguson, 38.1%. He's up to 38.1% on threes this season on 3.4 attempts. In the month of January, I don't know how many games that is, but obviously we're 25 days into January, whatever it is. 47% this month on 5.5 attempts a game. That's a game changer, man.
Yep.
Like that changes your entire team. The fact that you can have a start. When has this team ever had a starting shooting guard that you can just set up for threes? Are you kidding me?
They're supposed to have had that a couple times, but
the fact that they're getting him 5.5 attempts a game too. I don't know how many minutes he's playing. I would guess it's around 30 a game, without looking in the month of January. One thing I was thinking last night, and I think it really bodes well for the future of this team.
29.7.
Nailed it.
Got it.
Attaboy.
It's pretty amazing how many open looks this team generates for Paul George.
Yeah.
Paul George, who's one of the leading scorers in the entire league, the leading scorer on the team, having a career season. Everyone knows that he's deadly from three. Man, he gets a lot of good looks for a guy that is as good as he is, right?
Yeah, you should never be if he's open.
Yeah,
you just
bitch.
count. Just put it on. You can just put it on the scoreboard.
Right.
Like he's going to make it.
I mean, that's Russ though. That's a lot of Russ. That's where Russ deserves a bunch of credit for getting Paul George open as often as he does.
And just defenses, I think, have really shrunk down and really packed the paint quite a bit, where Paul George just kind of roams around like, I'm just going to stand out here behind the three-point line and just like, I'll just wait for the ball.
And he said, don't run plays for me. Like, he wants to find it within the offense, which
How can
awesome.
you be that way? You know, like how...
Because he's great.
It is. Like, he's great, but it's amazing that you can be as great as he is on the court. I know what you're saying. He's just great as a person. How can you be that great on the court this year and not be like, that dude could take 30 shots and no one would complain.
Yeah.
He's not taking
Please
30
do.
shots ever, though.
Cool with it.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was making a joke sitting next to my dad last night at the game, and he, like, dribbles across half court, and I'm like, shoot it. just shoot it. Like, I won't be upset if you just shoot it.
Do it.
Because I feel like it'll go in. You're that good. Before we move on to our surprise game that we have.
Ooh.
What?
Yep.
I don't know what it is.
All right.
It's a surprise.
We mentioned Russ.
Russell Westbrook?
Man, that explosiveness.
Ooh, it's back.
Looks back, right?
Ooh.
Am I crazy here? Am I
not crazy.
overreacting
Nope.
to what we've seen these past couple games? We've seen dunks.
We've seen confidence driving in the lane again.
That.
He for the longest time it was he'd drive and like there are a few games that really stick out. Like he would drive and just like, I don't feel comfortable being in the paint right now. There's a big guy that's going to block my shot or alter it too much. I need to pass out of that. And it wasn't like a kick where he had planned to kick. It was almost a panicked kick. It was just like, find someone, dump it
panic
really
kick.
quick.
Yeah.
Panic
A
kick.
panic kick.
Yeah, that's a thing. Trademark.
Right now, though, he's driving, and it's not as much as I'd like to see or as much as it was in the past. But when he drives, he looks at the rim like, you're mine. I am going to attack you with this dunk. Or I'm going to, just tap it off the glass like you're going to know I'm here. He's attacking the rim instead of just attacking in the paint.
Those dunks against the Blazers, man, they felt I'm sure they felt good. They obviously felt good
Made him almost die.
They obviously felt good to all of us and all of the fans watching it because it's something that we've been wanting to see from him for a while now. And it's not those two. We don't care about those two-handed dunks, Russ. Like, we know you can do this too. We want to see those one-handed hammers, those
Smash it.
those signature slams from Russell Westbrook.
Like that one literally right there,
Right
right
there,
by
right
you.
Right there
Yeah.
on that OpulusClothing.com t-shirt.
And that's
Thunderheads,
exactly
promo
what he
code.
did down the stretch of that
13%
game. And we're not talking first quarter. We're talking fourth quarter, 2 minutes left or whatever it was.
Daggers.
Hammer. And
Ball
it just,
game.
and all game long, he was just zooming around the court. It felt like a new, not a new Russ, a reversion to the Russ we know.
Yeah. Last night, I think it was last night, there was a video floating around Twitter of him last night, which he blocked a shot and then ran all the way back to the other side of the court, dunked it up in 9 seconds. It was 9 seconds, the whole thing.
And then he had an Instagram post, I think it was yesterday, and it just said like slowly but surely or something.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
He's on that way back.
Wow.
Do you think that's related, or am I looking too far
No,
into
I
this?
think it's exactly what you think it is.
Okay.
Russ is so calculated on social media. Like, yeah, that's
The cupcakes
He's
post
So,
back.
and now
but
he's
what
back.
does that mean? What is the slowly but surely? Is it exactly what we think? Like he's just recovering from these surgeries that he's had from these minor injuries, and it's just a slow process? It seems crazy to me to be able to play through all of those and then just all of a sudden be like, nope, I'm good.
I think
After
it's-
you play 48 games or whatever, or 40.
I think it's a combination of several things. Like a little bit, yeah. I think there were some injuries that like he just didn't quite. He knew he had to just work through it. Like there was no amount of like rehab or whatever that was just going to make it automatically better. It's just like I just have to work through this. I think part of it is also not necessarily like a confidence thing, but just like understanding. Like he's gotten to the point where he knows like, okay, this is exactly what every single person on this floor is going to do at any single given time in the course of a 48-minute basketball game. So he feels it's almost like he feels the way that the team is going to move with him, And so he's gotten to that point like, I'm comfortable. I know where everyone's going to be. So, like, let's just make this a smooth operating, finely tuned machine. And I think he's getting to that point where, like, everything's coming together. We feel good about it.
Like, maybe he understands. Like, it's one of those things I wrestle with this back and forth, but I don't know. Like, maybe Russell Westbrook completely understands the 82-game season. He's 10 or 11 years in. I don't know which it is. I keep saying that. But he understands it's a long season. It's 82 games. And is he at a point? He's been in the playoffs almost every year of his career. And he's like, I don't need to go full 100 in game 30.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I just need to save it a little bit, because I have noticed maybe in the past couple of years that in the playoffs that I've been a little... that I...
Sorry, just saw full body Justin again.
I hope he covered his body, but...
Oh, why are you doing that over there?
Yeah, oh my
Anyways,
God.
Oh,
What was I saying?
He's figured out...
Is that realistic, though, to think that Russell Westbrook is somewhat saving
Doesn't
himself?
seem like his personality.
I don't know
It
about
doesn't,
saving it, but like...
But don't you think this is a natural part of getting older and learning?
I think there's some of
As
that.
as a professional?
But why game 47 or whatever, 40, just throw it in there?
Well,
Because, all of a sudden he starts talking trash to Lillard the first time. Why all of a sudden have your first game ever, according to Damian Lillard, where you're talking trash to Lillard? It's kind of like a perfect storm. It's kind of interesting, right? Those things are lining up
I
here.
think a big thing about this, I mean, obviously he probably would not just hamper his own shot on purpose. But if you're talking about
Well,
his athleticism, like...
I'm going to miss him for a while.
I'm just going...
I'm gonna keep shooting them, but I'm gonna miss them.
I'm a sandbag, so P will get the starting spot.
What a weird thing. What a weird thing to sandbag.
You know, guys, I really wonder what it's like to shoot about 21% from beyond the arc.
I'm going to try it out. This year.
They won't even see it coming.
No, that's next
what
level
he's doing.
Russ, though.
He's
like,
playing my
I'm going
game,
to average a
boys.
triple-double for the third straight year,
Without even shooting.
20% from
No
three.
one's ever done that shit.
That'll be a new
record.
ground.
New record.
Yeah.
When his biography comes out in like 20 years, that's going to be in there. It's just be like, you know what? That doesn't surprise me at all. He was just like, I could literally hit any shot that I ever wanted to take, but it's not
just
fun
didn't
if I
want
make
to.
every
I
one.
make it hard on myself.
Yeah.
Isn't
Why
that
would you?
what makes Russ great? Because I don't know that they're outside of LeBron James. Is LeBron James the only one that could maybe put up numbers like that without shooting the three? Like that's
Giannis
insane.
Antetokounmpo?
That Russell
There you
Westbrook
go.
can do this.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, maybe Antetokounmpo, but I still just doubt that he can do it the way that Russell Westbrook does it.
Oh, here we go.
Do we need these?
Yeah.
Is it time?
I don't know. He broke his out, so I just broke mine
It's
out.
time. Remove your magnets.
Let's do it.
No magnets here.
I'm gonna segue into this. We got a game. It's a surprise game. Justin's prepared it for us. It was a collaborative effort between Justin and I.
We have no idea what's
Who
about to
gets
happen.
more credit, though?
Jason and Rob have no idea what's gonna happen.
I just have a marker board. And
They
I don't
have
know
dry
why.
erase boards.
Do we have an eraser?
Yeah, it's on the end of your
marker.
pin.
Marker.
Yeah.
Is the right
That's
word.
fancy. That makes a lot of sense.
Here we go.
Are you gonna do it?
Are you nervous?
Or am
Talking,
I doing
or
it?
you just
No, I'm doing it. I got it.
Okay.
No.
I just want to dance a little bit and let this
Okay, that's
music
fine.
play.
I didn't know if I was supposed to be.
What do you get when you take two friends and force them into a relatively impromptu game based off a 70s and 80s game show? You get our newest game, Guys with Whiteboards.
Hey, that's us.
Can they just be boards? They gotta be white.
Oh.
All right. Okay, I'll play.
Hey,
I'll play.
2019, man. Boards.
All included. Included.
Yeah.
We'll ask our presently perplexed pair of pals a series of questions about each other. Their purpose is to predict the proper reply from their proximate payson to procure preposterously purportless points
Use
in an
English,
aim
boy.
to win a fabulous prize.
What do I
Okay.
get?
There's no prize.
The prize is a big old
Hey.
thumbs up from me.
I'll say this: we're all winners because we got to see that.
That's right. All of it.
Our buddies tonight are Jaybird and Robson. I mean, Jason and Rob.
Put our names together.
Yeah, it's good, huh?
What happened?
Yeah, that was.
All right. So, do you guys understand the rules?
No,
I have
you didn't
no
say
idea
you
what
didn't say anything.
I actually explained it all in that whole.
No, what?
You
There's
said
a lot of
17
alliteration.
I'll
words that
explain
had
it. I'll jump in
Ps.
here and
Hey,
explain it. All
hold
right.
on. You
Are
didn't
you
say
guys?
a damn word. That
I
Are
whole
you
did.
guys?
I heard Paisan.
That's the only thing I heard. Too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
a word.
guys familiar with the Newlywed Game?
Yeah, I invented it.
Hey, I like this. Yeah.
All right. So Justin's gonna ask a question,
Propose?
and it's gonna go back and forth. So,
gotta
for instance, hey, listen up. Can I have your attention?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Pat.
Say Jack. That's a different game.
Anyways, so for instance, maybe the first question is directed at Rob, and it's going to say, hey, Rob, what's your favorite day of the week?
Yes.
And then you write down your favorite day of the week, and while you're doing that, Jason's writing down what
Same.
he thinks
Yeah.
you're going to say.
That's right. I have
Yeah.
to guess what he's gonna do.
But the point is going to be for the person
me.
that guesses,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Let's
Got
go
it.
ahead and do it.
Let's go, Paisans.
So we're gonna,
Pie-zones and play-zones.
we're gonna break this up in 5 and 5. Jason,
Are we going to alternate?
it's gonna be 5 then 5. So
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. So who are we starting with here?
Jason, you'll go first
As the guesser or as the...
as the guesser. Rob, you will
I'm
write
like-
your answer on the board, and Jason will try to guess your response.
We don't trust each other.
Justin's like Jay Leno, and I'm like Kevin Eubanks.
Over there on guitar.
Yeah, I'm over here on guitar.
All right.
Just fiddling around on it.
Wow.
Also, this is for posterity, so please
Wait,
be
hold on.
honest.
Who's
Be
going?
honest.
Who's going
I-
first again? Sorry, I missed it.
Oh,
I'm
God.
guessing first.
We got it, though.
You're
We're good.
guessing what Rob's.
Yeah.
You'll figure it
Well,
out.
Kevin Eubanks doesn't hear everything.
Yeah, that's true. We got to shave your head.
All
Too much
right,
hair.
Jason, what is Rob's favorite candy bar?
Oh my! I wish I could guess. Oh wow!
This is tough.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
This is tough.
well, Rob
Hey,
doesn't
we already
even
know he looks in the basket. Definitely don't show him your
Oh,
whiteboard.
I'm not going to show him. But we're doing 5 at a time, so I have to keep.
No.
Oh, we're gonna
You'll want to
show.
show.
write it,
yeah.
write it big
So
and show it to the camera.
Wanna show my
Jason,
guess?
Jason, once you've made your guess, I need you to show first, so that way everyone can see, and then we'll have Rob
panicking.
reveal.
Write it down.
I'm panicking. I don't.
Just write one.
You spelled that wrong.
That's a... God.
Answer's not valid.
It's also going to be
And
wrong.
All right,
reveal.
Rob
No
reveal.
one's... That's no... Damn!
It's
I
a
was gonna-
Snickers.
Snickers.
You said it was going to be hard.
And Jason guessed a Three Musketeers.
No one does.
Yeah, that's
what I
a
thought.
terrible guess.
No,
I was going out on a limb.
Musketeers, not musketeers, but musketeers.
That's that 3 guns from the
Musketeers.
Civil War?
Yeah, you know, muskets.
All right,
That's 0 points for Jason.
Ah, you suck.
all
Hey,
right,
champion over
You
here.
don't know me.
You ever guessed the shoe size right?
all right.
Not yet. Not
Oh yeah,
yet.
GTSS is on a season hiatus, by the way.
Whoa.
Next.
From I'm so used to doing
Twitter questions.
that is my natural response when you say next
Yeah.
because Twitter questions.
Oh, classic.
You Pavlovian dog.
Jason, what is Rob's favorite vegetable?
Oh my. None.
Neither of them are gonna get any points.
Oh, come on.
You gotta.
Oh. Ooh.
He's writing a lot over there.
He is.
All
It's
right.
more than 4 letters.
Rob,
Well,
go ahead
Rob,
and reveal.
Green
Green beans.
I wrote none.
Jason wrote
Ah,
I really don't like
that's
it.
pretty accurate, but,
That's actually accurate.
but I
And
do.
Jason's 0 for 2.
All right,
You suck.
Son of a bitch.
We gotta boogie more through these guys.
Yeah.
All right,
let's
let's
keep
go.
going.
Jason, what is Rob's least favorite NBA team?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Least favorite NBA.
Alrighty.
We've got a lot of dead air going on right
That's
here, and I
okay.
feel weird about it.
Yeah, it's not good for podcasting.
No, it's not real. Well, okay, you know it's not as terrible for the video,
Yeah.
but the audio, we apologize.
Yeah.
He doesn't know any other NBA teams?
I just don't know what will be your
Wait,
worst one.
well, it can't be the Thunder, so
This is a tough
I don't
question.
know one of those not
I mean,
Thunder
Hard.
teams.
There's 29 choices.
Pick one though.
There's technically 30,
No,
but
it's
you know,
not.
I doubt it would be OKC.
It would get real awkward
I'll
if
just
it
go-
was.
Rob's never been a Thunder
And
fan.
Rob, what is your
All
answer?
right.
Lakers.
Oh.
I said Dubs.
That's
Wrong.
fair, yeah.
Oh,
That is
interesting.
good, too.
Oh,
How do you not pick the Warriors?
Yeah. What the
Come
fuck's
on.
wrong
Because
with
they're
you?
not my
all right.
Well, I know that they're not
the
your
whole thing is that
fans.
they're not your
least
favorite.
favorite, right?
Moving forward, on the 4th of 5, Jason, who is Rob's fourth favorite Thunder player?
Ooh.
Fourth favorite.
Fourth favorite Thunder player.
That's hard for him to even think about.
Well-
Probably, he's looking up the roster
Well,
right
it was.
now.
This is
He's looking up the roster, guys.
It was pretty. So you take out.
Yeah, I know
Paul
who
George,
you take
Russ,
out.
and
I know
Steve
who you
Adams.
take out.
You better be careful there.
you don't know. He might like Nader.
Good.
He might like Noel. You know he's a big Noel fan. He's always liked Noel.
He is.
Hates Abrina, so he's not in the
I
running.
went a different.
Part of me feels like Rob is just like trying to like scheme
I think
answers against.
He's not being honest. He's not being honest. He doesn't like green beans.
All right.
Won't even
I
eat
Do
them.
you have
love
an answer,
green
Jason?
beans.
All right.
Jason says it's Grant. Rob, it's
Noel.
Noel.
Come on. Have you even listened to this podcast?
No.
Wow.
All right.
No, I'm on it.
Wrote him
Jason-
an email.
I'm
Jason-
on it. I'm on it. I don't listen.
And Jason's
Jason,
over
I've got
for
your
it.
last one.
These are hard.
Guys, I'm not good at this.
All right, let's go.
What is Rob's favorite Oklahoma City Thunder jersey?
Ooh. You got 5 to pick from, right?
Of,
Current jersey.
of the 5 this year, what is his favorite
you have the
one?
whites, you have the blues, and then the other ones.
You've
Yeah,
got
so
the
how
ones that are this stupid color.
I'm good. Go.
Yeah, the orange
Do we
ones.
call
You got
them
the
Yeah, call them by
Native
what they're
American
called.
heritage ones.
I don't remember.
The cities.
It's definitely not
Jesus
that
Christ.
one.
Icon Association, earned statement, and
City.
Shit.
City. Yeah, thank
So
you.
his favorite ones. Why are you looking?
Because I think I changed my mind.
Well,
I'm
change
gonna be
it.
wrong.
Just show
I
everyone.
think you're wrong.
Oh,
You hated him.
You used to hate him.
Here's the thing.
You hated him, you liar!
Flip flopper. He's
Here's the thing.
sabotaging your performance.
Hold on. Here's the thing.
I
They-
said statement. Rob
Hold on,
said
hold on.
city.
We deserve. Rob deserves to let us have him hear him out.
You hated him.
I did not like them at first. They grew on me, and I gotta tell you,
Apparently, they grew up. Yeah.
they are one of my
up in
favorite
you.
they're
ones.
really good. I will say. So I've said this for a while. Like
my
the
God.
Thunderbird, the logo, like that looks kind of like a snowflake a little bit. The navy and with the orange OKC in the middle. That is such a cool
Divorce.
logo.
Yeah.
It's a really underrated logo.
They're cool.
all
They
right.
look- they're
Still
cool. They're,
together. You
they're
don't get
so
any alimony.
unique to the rest of the NBA. too.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
I'd love us to rebrand. But anyways, I
Switching
digress.
up now.
All right, time to turn the tables. Not literally. Rob, you'll be guessing Jason's responses now. Rob,
Eubanks on guitar.
Rob, what is Jason's middle name?
Oh my God, Jason, do you know it?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it real quick. It's the first one I got right, you guys. First one I got right.
This is well done. This is.
You don't know? I thought we were friends. Like, we've
I
been
don't know
friends
that
for
I
a
know
bit.
it.
Damn! We've been friends for longer, I think.
I
All right,
What's
Todd.
I'm a Todd.
I can't
It's not
see what-
Todd.
It's Kyle.
Is it really?
It's
It's
Kyle.
not Kyle for sure.
No, my initials
Todd.
are JKL. Like, they go in the alphabet. Jason Kyle Lewis.
Todd? No one's middle name is Todd. There's never been
I'll
a
be honest
person.
with you. I know we're struggling for time and I panicked.
There's no one that's ever
Jason
been middle
Todd Hush.
Jason Todd.
Fits.
Rob.
It fits.
Next, no one scored a single point.
I've only had one chance.
Yeah,
Rob,
but you're
still
also
though.
gonna know.
Rob, what is Jason's favorite condiment?
Not to be confused with condom, which is
Trojan.
the ribbed Trojan.
Don't wear them.
What is your favorite
Don't wear 'em.
condiment?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you know what a condiment is?
Which situation are we going?
Like,
In
it
general?
doesn't
Overall.
matter. Just overall.
We might get this one right.
I'm ready.
Oh, I think
we're getting it right.
All right.
Yay! I lost. Fuck!
Yeah.
Well, it's over now, but we can still go through
I
it.
do want to play through this.
Yeah, play through it.
We got to it this
All right.
Ketchup's like that was the easiest one because these guys only eat ketchup.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
ketchup.
that was, he gets, just so you guys know, Rob gets like 2 to 3 to 4 ketchups.
I get 2
At every Thunder
for the
game.
chicken basket.
All right, Rob.
Well,
Who is Jason's favorite non-Thunderer?
I don't.
Does he
Yeah,
know
Jay-
any non-Thunders?
This is a bad
Does
question.
he know it?
Trying to think of who he would know.
This would be a bad question for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody.
He actually wouldn't.
I feel like yours
Actually,
would
I-
have to be a former
it
Thunder
would
player.
be a former Thunder player.
Yeah,
I know exactly who it is.
Cantor.
too. Yeah.
That's who I would have gone for you. All right, and Jason is writing, and Rob is also writing. Oh, wow. Interesting. And
Jimmy
Jimmy
G!
Butler.
Are you serious?
Love Jimmy Bucket.
Really?
Rob guessed Antetokounmpo. That was the wrong answer.
That was a good answer.
I actually probably should have said Dame.
What's next?
If
All right.
being
Good
honest.
one.
Dame is actually
All right,
one of
Rob.
my favorite players.
Who does Jason consider to be the Thunder's best dunker?
Oh, this is a good question. Jason, who do you consider to be the Thunder's best dunker? And this doesn't have to be like who can go between the legs the best. Who do you think has the best dunks? Ooh, interesting answer, Rob. And Jason reveals it is Ferg!
Terrence Ferguson wins.
Wow. You guys really believe that? Both of you?
Also, a big ketchup fan, Ferg.
Love ketchup. All of us does.
Probably not. No, but he does.
Yeah, but that's what matters in this
Yeah.
game. One more?
Is anybody still listening?
Our final one. Our final one.
Last one?
Rob, who does Jason consider to be the sexiest OKC Thunder player?
Ooh, this is a good one. Who's the hottest Thunder player? PG.
Ooh.
It's PG.
Adam.
It's not Steven.
I just thought you might be into the beard.
Nope.
I didn't know what you were into.
Interesting.
For
So what
guys.
is it about
Peach.
Paul George that gets you?
He's just smooth, man.
Yeah.
That is
Smooth as
true.
X.
Yeah, yeah.
He's smooth as X,
He
baby.
is that.
All right.
And if you know anything about me, I like smooth.
Let's. that was a lot of fun. Maybe a bit long.
It was a bit
A
long.
lot of fun though.
It was fun.
Maybe
I
next
had
time we
fun.
just do 3.
You want to get to some inquiries?
Hold on.
I know, but I was trying to slow that.
Social media.
I also
inquiries.
realized I have to have my Wi-Fi on for this.
Go ahead and switch that baby back on.
Yeah, I just did. Thanks.
What we got?
Next. I thought you would do it. You were trained.
From
Bro.
Hey, someone want to pick this up for me right now?
Brandon.
My Wi-Fi is still trying
Got
to
it.
connect.
who knew it'd be me? Karan, I don't know.
Ron Butler. Long
At Russ
distance.
PG 2020, they're running for office. Which win has been the most satisfying this season?
Ooh.
Portland on the road.
Agreed.
Portland on the road
Really?
was a great win.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to ever say Golden State on the road isn't the most satisfying.
Yeah.
True, just
'Cause
not
we've
full
whooped their
strength.
ass.
Yeah, just not full strength.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it
still,
feels
felt
so
good.
good.
It does, but
And KD was there, and that's all that really
But just-
matters.
I don't know, just the
beating
fact
his
that
little
it's
ass.
Love seeing them sad.
it had been so long. I mean, the fact that they went in there, it's a really tough place to play.
Yeah,
they did it.
and we haven't won there since 2013 or whatever it was.
2014, yeah.
2014.
And they're probably going to sweep them, right? This season. Ooh, oh. Is that too much?
Bold prediction. Next, Blake Llewellyn.
By the way, I'm
Jinx.
back.
Oh, you back?
Yeah, we good.
Next, I got this one though. I got it pulled up, so I'm gonna do it. Blake Llewellyn at Blake_Llewellyn.
Definitely a
I'm gonna
dude.
do it, Justin style. A through F. Where would you grade this season at this point?
A7. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say a
An
B
A?
minus.
Ooh, B minus.
Yeah.
Not living up to expectations for
Yeah.
old Bobby B.
I kind of was. I think it's just the.
Is that relative to the rest of the league, or is that where
No,
you
just
expect
what
the record to be?
what I thought that they would be so far?
Gotcha.
Like the bad losses, I just was hoping that wouldn't happen.
But there's not a
obviously-
lot of them, like compared to last year, right?
I mean, especially recently, like Washington.
Sure, there's some recently,
Getting
but,
blown
but
out
up until
is-
recently, they hadn't lost a game until against an
Yeah.
under 500 team.
No, well, they're also 5-5 for the last like 3 weeks. It seems like every single time you look at that, they're 5-5.
Yeah.
So,
No, they
I mean,
haven't
it's
played well
I don't know. It's just a little. It's
Sure.
not. I mean, they're still
Eh,
they're showing
yeah.
promise. Like whenever, just if you only look at record and those losses, that's one thing. But watching them in some of these other games where it just looks really promising. So
I go B plus.
oh,
I think there's room for improvement.
Definitely.
But I'm
I like a B plus.
I'm content with what they've done this year.
All right, you know what? You guys talked me out of a B plus. I'm going A minus.
Nice.
wow.
Thunder up to the 3 seed.
Jason went A7.
A7.
What's that?
I-
No one knows what
That's
that
either
means.
above or below
Is
what
that a
you
bell
said.
curve grade?
Yep.
Next,
Parabolas.
From Benji, Ad, and Brody We Trust. What is Robertson's role on this team if he comes back this
a
year?
weekly topic here because Ferguson keeps getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he's also going to get worse, and then he's going to get better,
Right.
and then he's going to get
Okay,
worse.
but say this is Ferguson, right? Let's say Ferguson right, let's just do this. Ferguson's shooting 38% from 3 on the year. Let's say Ferguson maintains that 38% from here until whenever it is that Robertson comes back. And he's shooting 4.5 a game from 3. That's pretty good. That's really good, right? Something the Thunder have never had at the shooting guard position. Robertson comes back. What do you do? And Ferguson's maintaining his level of defense, which isn't up to Robertson's standard. It's not Robertson.
Yeah.
It's not.
You bring Robertson off the
But
bench.
also, one thing is Robertson up to Robertson's standard of defense when he comes back. I
Well,
think you're
I
going to
don't
have to
think you
work
can
him back
I
over
don't
a
think
while.
you can expect him to. But like, say when Robertson does come back, he's ready to play as many. He can play 48 minutes if you need him to. But maybe you can't expect him to be Robertson at his
old,
peak.
yeah.
But he's going to be good. He's going to be a really awesome. He's still going to be a top 10 NBA perimeter defender.
Oh, then that's worse than I thought what we were talking about. I was saying if Robertson comes back and he's 100% and ready to go, you bring Robertson off the bench
Still?
if Ferg is playing that way. At least just to see.
Yeah.
Like you have to
start him there.
And let's see what Robertson can do. And that's how you should treat it. Bring him in a little bit at a time until he's ready to go. Not just 100% for his like body being ready, but just getting in game action and being ready to go in that way.
So it's that decision is based on just getting Robertson ready to go, and
yeah.
it's
Once
not.
he's ready
it's
to
not
go.
the fact that you think Ferguson might be a better fit.
No.
Okay.
Once he's ready to go, an interesting topic as well would be where would you rank the current Thunder starting lineup against the rest of the league starting lineup?
Pretty good.
I
I
think
think
yeah,
they're pretty solid.
they're pretty
Throwing
high.
Melo in there, he'd be real good.
But the fact that you can, I mean, they're already up there.
defense.
But I think Robertson adds. There's still value, and like it's hard to remember
The thing
how
is,
good he was when
definitely.
he got hurt.
Right.
Especially because number 1 and 2 guys in the entire league leading the league in steals are Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Right.
And think how much Robertson helps that.
Oh God.
He's just like the people don't realize what makes Robertson so good is he makes the offense. He makes it hard to pass the ball. Like you can't even pass the ball.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna steal it from you, but he's gonna make it really hard to pass it. And then guess who just feasts on that?
Right.
Russell Westbrook, Paul George. So
Also, you think about like what do you need in the playoffs whenever you're playing Houston, whenever you're playing Golden State.
definitely.
Like you
Lock him up.
yeah,
so
I mean,
important.
if this is a question that's posed game 1, you're playing Houston in the first round.
Dre.
It's an easy answer.
Thank you.
yeah.
It's an easy answer.
Yeah.
And then we get that awesome punch of there's a guy shooting really well from 3 coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
take
nice.
that. That'll be
Perfect.
Well, and think about being able to play a lineup too of Russ, Ferguson, Paul George, Robertson, and Adams, or maybe throwing
Or
Grant
Grant.
or Noel or what the switchability there. Oh my God!
fun. Have fun.
My nipples just got hard like 30 minutes ago because it's
My
real cold in here.
PP
Can
did.
confirm.
Have
Can
fun
confirm.
scoring, NBA. From 7 cents for Mello at
Far.
at
That
Rom
was too
Huff,
far.
who's
We're getting taken off.
whose profile picture is a duck with a very large ass. It's very interesting. You guys need
Gotta
to
go
look
look
this
at
up.
that.
Well, I'm gonna log
Gilbert
on.
Gottfried playing the voice.
From what he said was against the Sixers. I didn't see many Russ post-ups. Against the Blazers, lots of them. More post-ups against Pels, but less fouls drawn and more muscling in. Specifically, when Russ is posting up beneficial. Specifically, when is Russ posting up beneficial for the team in terms of matchups and game situation?
Well, I
Probably
think
not against Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what you
That's the
notice
thing.
is that they like to post Russ up against smaller guards. They like to get the advantage there, and I think that's mainly what it's about.
Ben Simmons
mean,
is gigantic,
that's-
but that's a big ass duck.
That's why it's
Like-
an advantage, is because there's smaller guards that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can move around.
Well, right.
Also, this duck is a post from Kanye.
Voluptuous.
And
It's a post from Kanye.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
says
bummer
Kanye
that-
West. It says, I drew a thick duck. And President Trump responded and said, thank you, Kanye. Very cool.
Yeah,
I don't
I-
know if any of that's real. or
yeah,
not.
I don't
Dear
think it's
God,
actually real. That's why
that's
got
got to be real.
That's a thick duck, though.
In this reality,
Next.
that we have to question whether that's real.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's everything.
Yeah. It could be.
From Nate Zero at RWPG13_. Will Russ shoot above 75% from the line this year? He's 66% currently.
I think he'll.
I'll say no.
I think he'll get there.
It's too big of a.
He'll get
Like we're over halfway through the
75.3.
season. Like
75.3.
What he'd have to shoot like
He's gonna have to hit like
85%.
every single free throw from here on
Hell,
out,
I don't know
basically.
numbers.
No, he'd have to shoot like at least 85% probably from here on out. And just for like he did, it's not like this is new this year. He did this last year.
That's right.
So
He's shooting 70% in January.
Boom.
Like all of the talk
it's
of how
terrible
it
that
had
that
gotten
feels bad.
so much better.
I mean, that feels good. Is
yeah,
what I mean.
all the talk that it had gotten so much better. 70% is
God,
where
that
he's
does-
at for the month. So no.
From Russell Cyborg Westbrook at. Wait, was it? What is that? Okay, Kissinger Ethan. Thank you.
It's
Five-
the orange mask that's hurting his reading.
Yeah, 538 Carmelo player projections predicts that Terrence Ferguson's progress most resembles Nick Batum. Is that a good comparison?
Isn't it great that they're called the Carmelo? Like the
Yeah.
algorithm is Carmelo.
that is interesting.
Is that real life?
Yeah,
It's
that's
super
real.
inefficient algorithm.
He's a great algorithm.
Hey,
though.
It's such a good
It's a
algorithm.
great algorithm.
It's going to try a lot of times in the game for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a lot of attempts.
What happened to my beer?
Nick. Oh no. Nick Batum? Nah, I don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like just different players. Batum's more, at least in his heyday, when he was a good player. I don't know that
Ooh.
he's even a good player anymore.
Tossing fire at him.
He was a guy that could handle the ball. He could make plays for others. I
Yeah.
don't think that's necessarily going to be what Ferguson ever is. Ferguson's a 3-and-D guy, man, who hopefully at one point can put the ball on the floor here and there.
Yep.
From Nick Eccles at Neckles87. What are your thoughts on trading for Mirotic?
I'm for it. I don't know what his contract is. What's his contract?
Probably terrible.
you
I just
trading?
assume that because
Thanks,
of the Bulls.
guys.
I assume that because of the Bulls. You were already looking it up when
Oh,
you said
12 and a
thanks.
half mil. Ooh.
Just for
No.
Ooh.
how long does he have?
I don't
Nosferatu
know.
for 12 and a
That's all
half
I know,
mil.
though. Like, so
Pass.
you kind of know what you have to
It's-
give up in a
it's it.
situation like that. I mean,
One season.
you can do like an Abrinas Patterson plus Nader or something like that for Mirotic. That's giving up a lot of depth there.
Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
sucks.
I don't like
it. He helps
He
your
looks
offense.
like a vampire.
He's definitely one of the ugliest players in the NBA.
It looks like Andrew Luck.
He does. Hey, your ride's here, Jason.
Did I
These
call an
Ubers
Uber
outside.
earlier?
Someone's talking.
Next.
Rob downloaded that app.
From Jesse Edgar Photography at OK Computer Guy. He
Hey.
Check out
changed
that
things up.
photography, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's good, man.
He photographs computers.
That is not what he does. Check him out though.
Yeah, check him out.
This is a great one for you three.
Great pictures
What
of
is your
computers.
favorite place to eat in the Chesapeake Energy Arena?
Ooh.
Chicken basket.
We got the same.
Chicken basket.
Should
I will
that
say-
have been a newlywed game?
I
kinda
wish
question?
would've
there
been-
was
That
a
would've been
good
a better
place
Guys
to
with
eat.
whiteboards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say club level though
Club
has,
level chicken baskets.
has
are-
the potato wedges.
Get on your high horse
Ooh.
or get off it.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I mean,
However
it's,
the saying goes.
it's the better level, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
the
It
club.
It has
But-
where the club
potato
is.
wedges with the chicken basket. That's our go-to
Oh, the
every time.
potato wedges are so good.
Yeah, the wedges are good in that
He
basket.
gets
I will
about
give you
6
that.
to 8 ketchups every time.
2 ketchups, that's it.
I wish there. Like, I can't find a good place to eat in there, man. Like, at
I thought
least
you
one-
liked
the barbecue. The barbecue
Yeah,
is okay
I
for a
burned
while.
myself out, and then the workers over there are just terrible, though. You go over there and like, what you
Ooh,
want?
Wow.
Like, I need a little hospitality, you know? Like, where is it? And then, like, the next guy is like, "What size you want?" And he just mumbles the whole time. "What size you want?" I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying to me.
I think listeners are driving by honking,
Honking
the horn.
outside.
That's
Probably.
definitely what it is.
Next.
Bringing it on home from Brett Carlisle at Throw Me a Hammer. Rank
It's dangerous.
1, elbows on the table. 2, chewing with your mouth open. 3, eating ridiculously small bites and making your meal last 3 times as long as anyone else. 4,
Oh, my God.
OKC versus the Pelicans in the fourth quarter.
This is good. We got to dig into this real quick.
Um,
So elbows on the table, chewing with your mouth open, eating ridiculously small bites and making your meal last 3 times as long as anyone else, or the fourth quarter of last night.
I'm gonna go chewing with your mouth open. Drives me
That's
fucking insane.
So that's the worst then.
yeah.
Okay, so
Agreed.
it's number 4.
Agreed.
It's terrible.
Oh,
Agreed. Elbows
it's
on the
bad.
table, that's
Wait,
number 1.
I thought
Really?
it would be.
Yeah, like no one cares about
yeah,
that.
well,
Who
that's
cares?
the dumbest manners rule I've ever heard.
So stupid.
Well, and also it was the 50s, so
Yeah. No
Yeah.
one.
Moved
No
on.
one cares
Don't
about
put your
that
elbows
at
on,
all.
Put them at your hips.
Yeah.
your
What-
dad used.
How
like,
does
they
it feel to
flick
just
them.
be
Did
this?
some dickhead just decide that was a manner?
Yeah. Just some guy was like, I don't like you being comfortable,
Yeah.
bud. Quit.
Yeah, no. This is my safe. I just
You stop being
built
comfortable
it.
now.
all about posture.
I built
like
it
you
out of
just-
bones.
Put them at your side and like little wings.
All right.
Moving on.
I would say
So-
OKC versus the Pels is number 3 in this scenario where it was that was
And
frustrating.
eating ridiculously small bites to
That's
make
something
your
that I
meal
feel like
less-
I've done for most of my life.
Just enjoy your food.
I'm a quick eater.
I
like
take
to
a
get
while.
eating done quick.
I
like
could talk
to-
too much while I eat.
I like to enjoy my food.
See, I do too. Like
Nah.
I
I don't like to enjoy. I like to eat it quick.
Inhale
I don't
it?
like
He
to
likes to
savor
get
it. I don't
He
savor
likes to get it in and out as quick as possible.
for whatever reason I'm
Story
just
of
like
life.
anything that feels like something that I have to do, I just like to do it fast.
Yeah.
And eating is
I
something
wanna
I have
move
to
on.
do. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to get
no,
through it.
no. You okay? You do not.
Except for ice cream.
You don't
Ice
Savor that.
cream?
you don't eat to live. You live to eat.
That's right.
Enjoy every
Well-
single bite of every food that you ever get.
I just eat a lot of chicken nuggets. It doesn't.
I love chicken
you don't
nuggets.
Have to, you don't have to
How
savor
old are you?
that.
We're
30
5.
39.
We're 5 as far as food goes.
Yeah.
Just chicken nuggets and ketchup, and I'm good. I'm gonna be honest with
Give
you.
us some nuggies. We're good.
Let's burst through some notes.
Screw us.
We will periscope the basketballs while we're getting out of here.
God, I hope I don't get an undefeated, super defeated week.
Just got a couple here. Paul George recorded his 8th 35-point game this season versus the Blazers, matching his highest total in any season of his career. He's already done that. And with his
Boom.
second game of 35-plus points and 5-plus steals, he's the first Thunder / Supersonics
Nah.
Damn.
player with multiple 35-point, 5-steal games in a season since Xavier McDaniel in 1986 and 87.
I wasn't even
Wow.
alive.
Also not alive.
I don't even know what that is. So, congrats, Paul George. And I'm like,
No one even knows.
I
who that
know
is.
a lot about basketball history, and I don't know who Xavier McDaniel is. So,
No one else?
this is from StatMuse. Games with at least 15 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists this season. Russell Westbrook, 3.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the NBA combined, zilch.
Oh,
Wow.
0. Nada. Nil.
they
Goose egg.
suck.
Get another word for it?
Goose egg.
Goose egg.
It's one thing because the knock was kind of that he would just barely get over a couple of those stats. 15, 15, and 15 is significant.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
He's insane. He's an insane person. Like, we're going to look back at this. We said it last year a ton, too. We're going to look back at this guy 10 years from now. He was an insane person.
Yeah.
Wow. What an awesome
He
experience
changed
it is
how
to
im-
watch Russell Westbrook every
He
night.
changed how people view a triple-double.
Yeah.
By himself,
Except
he
for
changed it.
everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone
There
else
still
is
is like,
cool, but
Ben Simmons got 20.
Yeah.
Oh!
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
he
cool
just
for
does
Russ
it every day.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, but it's bad for the Thunder when he does it.
Except for they win every time almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more, Paul George. He's an all-star starter.
Hey!
Give it up!
Hey!
We did it!
We did it. It's just us.
And per press release, the Thunder are donating its 22nd court to Ackley Park in Elk City.
Well,
Good for you,
that's-
Elk City.
Yeah, a lot of elk out there, I heard.
In that city?
Yeah, they work at coffee shops and
Yeah.
they're accepted in
Oh,
the
the economy's
citizenship.
booming in Elk City.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can hunt them just right in
It's
the
a
city.
socialist society.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's at, so.
it's
that's
not
west.
far from where we live. It's right down the
It's
highway.
pretty far.
It's right down the highway.
Like 2 hours from where you guys
2
live.
hours.
So you
right
don't
down the
know
highway.
where it's at
What's
either.
funny
then.
is
I've been there
I was
once.
thinking about this the other day. Is this funny or stupid? That when we talk 2 hours from you, it's automatically assumed that's a car. Is that weird? It's not. Bus.
What you just said is weird.
You made it weird.
It's weird though, right?
Yeah, we
No.
just
That's the main
assume
mode
it's
of
a car.
transportation in
Why
the
would that be
entire
weird?
We're gonna
world.
take
I
a
know,
bike.
but it's just funny. Like,
It's not. It's just normal.
I guess.
No, it's
It's like 2 days walking.
right.
Oh, that'd be a son of a
We
bitch.
should
You could ride
clarify
an
here.
elk to elk. Oh.
yeah.
Oh
No,
my
that was
God.
good.
Thanks for tuning
Thanks,
in. Thanks to Obelisk for having us, as always.
Obeliskclothing.com.
Promo code Thunderheads, 13% off. Thanks, Jason, for that.
Mm-hmm.
Your haircut at Scissors and Scotch, another partner of ours. They give good haircuts.
We're gonna be getting some on Sunday.
You can come
Yeah.
here, get a shirt, go up to Scissors and Scotch, get a haircut, and you'll be looking good when
Drink
you get
some
home.
booze while you get your haircut.
You can do that if you want.
Or
Not if you're Rob.
Or
You
not.
won't.
Yeah. You drink some water.
Coming up this week, Sunday, Bucks are coming to town. The NBA's best record. That's going to be interesting.
We gonna whip that ass.
Then a 3-game road trip at Orlando, at Miami, and at Boston on Super Bowl Sunday. Who you guys got in the Super Bowl?
Who
Rams.
cares at
Rams.
this point?
Really?
No, Patriots. They're
Bet
gonna win
against
because
Tom
Tom
Brady?
Brady is a robot.
Tom Bradley?
Yeah. Chiefs are gonna win.
Get us out of here, Justin.
And your name remains the same. All that has changed is this pretty face.
Thunder up.